Hey, welcome back to the Three Chords and Truth local music podcast. I'm your host, Pete Kramer. At Master Control, good friend of mine, co-founder and lead guitar player of the Eastwood Project is Doug Tisdale. He's hidden in a bunker someplace in downtown Angola, but he's running everything nonetheless. I got to mention, we got a new sponsor for the show. Bloomfield's Pub in Lancaster was kind enough to back us up. Joe King is a new owner. He took over in, I think it was in August, and it's just a great place. He's got acoustic music in there every Saturday night. There's something going on every night, but Saturday night is when you can find music there. And Joe's actually going to be on an upcoming show. Bloomfield's, if you haven't been there, it's a small place, but it's a very cool little place. I just played there on Saturday night, and it was packed. From where I was sitting, I couldn't see a seat that was not full. And without too much further ado, we're going to get into our guests. UnCovered. We had them on last season, and there was a few people that were missing at the time, and now we've got them back again with Hannah, who's the front person who was not there the last time, but Tony and Figure missing this time. So it's all right. It worked. We make it work. How you guys doing tonight?
Good.
What's going on, Pete?
Doing good, man. How about yourself? Hey, Christina, I want to say hello to your mom. After you were one of the last times at the it was the first Edge of Sundown show.
Yeah.
And we were sitting over in that corner. I said that last week to Joel, where it was just so loud. But she comes over. She says, "Are you Pete? I'm Christina's mom. I wanted to say hello." That was very kind of her to do that. So.
Yeah. Everyone knows my mom. We love her.
I'm going to get her a shirt that just says Colleen's daughter.
That'll work.
Yeah.
So anyway, how you guys doing? You ready to you got a whole bunch of new stuff coming up going on, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, year's winding down, but big events coming up, so we're excited for that.
That's what I've seen. Yeah. So for the people that don't know, Dan is the primo lead guitar player in this band. I've seen that guy play. He's just amazing. We got Christina on bass, and we've got Hannah as lead vocalist. And if I'm screwing anything up, just go ahead and stop me. But Dan, jump in whenever you're ready, man.
You're doing great.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to touch on what you said, we're winding down the year. November is going to be a lot busier than December is, but we've got, mostly big events. We're doing like the Turkey Trot on Thanksgiving morning. Early December, we've got a cool gig. We're playing with a band called Bad Marriage, which is Tommy Skiach formerly of Tesla's new band. So they reached out to us. We're opening that gig. That's going to be fun. That's at Rockin' Buffalo, December 6th.
And then we're finishing the year off at Good Bar. So
yeah.
If you haven't been to a Mr. Good Bar show, they are wild, and you should definitely go.
Yeah,
really.
My favorites.
And there's a Sabres game at the end of this month on the 21st, I think. So we'll be resuming the house band duties at the Sabres.
Oh, you've done that before?
Yeah, we actually
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Last time I talked to them, UnCovered has the most amount of games played for the Sabres.
Really?
Brandon.
So
No,
I think we've got one or two up on whoever they said the other band was. They had like if they have 11, we have 12 or something like that. But
okay.
That's kind of like our residency in the winter months is getting to do the house band gigs for the Sabres, which is always cool.
Always fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't know if the Sabres are, but we have a good time.
Now, another friend of mine played at that last year, and he was saying that you only get to play for a few minutes here and there. How does that work at the Sabres game?
It's well, you get like a whole timesheet of how long you play, and I'd say the longest is like 7 minutes, but when you're actually there, it's never actually 7 minutes. The time is always kind of changing depending on like what advertisements and commercials they have. So I would say the longest we play is probably like 5.5 minutes, but you literally just stop like in the middle of the song once your time is there and just try to play it off.
Yeah, they have one of their producers or assistants or whatever it might be. They all run in-ears in a silent stage because you don't want to kill the people in front of you. But that means I can hear them in the talkback mic telling us, okay, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, and then like you just have to, wherever you're at in the song, just stop.
It always gives me anxiety.
Yeah, I'll bet. And are you there for the whole game, or is it a certain amount of time for you?
So
Yeah.
we leave as soon as the second period's.
Okay.
Like
We-
the intermission.
We
second intermission.
leave after the second intermission,
Okay.
because the way it works is you play pre and post warm-ups, and then for the first and second intermission. As soon as the second intermission's done, they've got their crew, who are, you know, wonderful people, up there with a giant cart, and we are just frantically packing everything as quick as we can to get it on the cart, to get downstairs, get down the elevator, and get back to our cars.
Yeah.
For
because-
hitting all the traffic.
Right,
And
well-
closing it down.
Yeah, because that's when the cops close the street down.
Got it. Yeah. Well, that sounds like a really cool gig. I didn't even know that I haven't been to a Sabres game in a very long time, and I didn't know until Mike Zogaria told me that he played there, and
Yeah.
that's why I was kind of curious about how the whole thing worked. And you mentioned this turkey trot. Now, where is that, and when is it?
That is on Thanksgiving. They do like what is it, like a 5K run, 10K?
Something, Kay.
Yeah, it's at the
Something.
convention center though, so it's like the place that everyone goes to after the run. They have some beers. So we'll be playing there actually when everyone's done with their run.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's-
upstairs at the convention center. Something I didn't know was apparently the turkey trot is the longest running consecutively, like longest run foot race in the world.
Oh, I
It's
don't
been
know.
going
that.
on for 130 years. So when we were booked for that, I did some research into it, and I was like, wow, that's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I had no idea. But yeah, that's Thanksgiving. We start at 10 a.m. and I think we played till 11:30, somewhere around there. So
Yeah.
when you're done with your run, come have some drinks with us and party.
How the hell are you going to play at 10 a.m.?
I actually like the early shows.
Yeah, they're nice, honestly.
I can imagine, but I mean, you guys are playing all the time, and I can't imagine that after you get done with a gig, you're probably up until at least 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then to get up and
Yeah.
be there, set up, and play at 10.
We did a gig the one time. It was like late at, I think it was like the Ship, where we didn't get home until like maybe 12:30, 1 a.m. And then we had a Bills game the next day. We had to get up at like 5 a.m. And do a Bills tailgate.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah, well, because that's the thing with the Bills games too, is that our set goes up until just about at kickoff. There's like a half-hour window between us stopping and kickoff starting.
Yeah.
But we have to get there before Abbott gets closed down,
And do sound check.
and we have to sound check, and you know,
Yeah.
all the folks from Indigo are there setting up the PA and everything on the sound stage. So that if it's a 1 o'clock game and we're playing 10:30 to 12:30, we're getting there at like 8 a.m., 7 a.m.,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which means I'm leaving my house at like 6.
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. I don't even get up until then.
Yeah. So yeah, like
So we
in-
have to do some tailgating of our own, of
Of
course.
course. Sometimes
Right.
we don't even go to sleep. We just stay up all night and then play the Bills game the next day and go to bed after that.
Hannah, how do you sing that early in the morning?
You know, it's actually better, I feel like, to sing in the morning than it is late at
Really?
night. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't always a morning person, but with my full-time job and stuff, I've definitely have come to terms with being an early bird now. So it's pretty easy for me to talk in the morning and sing than me past my bedtime, like ready to go to bed, trying to hold it
Wow.
together, I'd say.
Yeah. I still remember watching Howard Stern interview Billy Joel, and it was like 8:30 in the morning, and Howard's trying to get him to sing something. He's like, Howard, are you out of your mind? It's 8:30 in the morning. There's no way. So that's what prompted me to ask you that, because that's got to be tough. I don't know.
Yeah.
The way you do it, because that's tough. I wanted to ask, how did this band come together? Now, I've read little snippets here and there, like on Facebook and stuff like that, but I'd rather hear it from you guys.
Yeah. So Tony, our drummer, and Fig, our other guitarist, they were in a few bands that they just kind of did for shits and gigs, way back when. And I just moved back from California, and my dad actually knows Tony's stepdad. They work together, and Tony's stepdad was like, "Oh yeah, they're looking for a new singer," and my dad's like, "You got to try it out." And I was like, okay. So Tony called me and left me a wonderful voicemail that I still have till this day. And so I went there, I did a few songs with them, and then it was just kind of the three of us just messing around, like having some fun, playing some music together. And then we kind of wanted to expand a little bit more and get a bigger sound. So they're like, we should really add a bass. I knew Christina since high school. I remember seeing her. I thought it was so badass too that she was like the only female who did bass in high school together. So I was like, you know what? Our mutual friend was like, well, you should contact Christina. And I was like, that's a great idea. So Christina came over. We were at my house doing practice this time. And so she came over and we're like, yeah, that's it. Then later on, I'd say a few months later, we were practicing out at Christina's place because we had a leak or something in our practice room, in our old practice room. And Dan was just kind of there messing around. And we were like, Dan, what should we call this band? I'm getting all these ideas from Dan, and he had to learn a few songs in case one of us couldn't make it to a gig. And then like we were literally like, do you want to join us? Like, let's just do this together. And he's like, why not? So then we all just started practicing, and then we got our first gig, and we couldn't believe it. We were like, we're actually doing gigs? That's wild.
Yeah.
Well, getting Dan in a band, that seems like kind of a no-brainer to me, but that's...
Yeah, I did not know what to expect when it happened. And I was like, oh, this is real. I thought this was just like for like funsies. And then we got our first gig, and I was like, oh, wow, we're doing this.
Well,
and I was shitting my pants.
Well, so the fun thing with that, too, is there was 2 gigs before I was playing with the band. I was at the gigs because I was supporting Christina and everything in her new band, but there was 2 gigs that I didn't play. And then the second gig I almost ended up playing because it was in 2021. We were worried that Fig might have caught COVID or something like that. So I speed learned as much of the set as I could in like a day and a half.
Plus, we were practicing at your house. We were
Right.
kind of just like fiddling around, hanging out.
Yeah. And there was times where like, Fig was running late or something happened. He wasn't going to be at practice. So I was like, well, I know the songs. I'll just do it.
Yeah.
So you guys can keep working on stuff.
He inserted himself into the band.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and when did this all take place? You mentioned 2021. When did you all come together?
Yeah.
It
January.
was end of 2020 because she contacted me towards the end of 2020. They were doing something on New Year's Eve that I wasn't able to make, but then I think the following week, so like the first week of 2021 is when it all fell together.
Wow. So you guys have covered a lot of territory in 5 years.
Yeah.
That's the goal, hopefully.
But yeah, and it's funny too, is because I've heard from a couple people in the last couple of weeks. They're asking us like, "What's UnCovered doing?" I feel like you're not playing anymore, and I'm like, "No, we're playing a lot, just not as much around here."
Yeah, not
because
so much
we're
locally, I'd say.
spending a bunch of time and effort being out into different areas that we haven't hit before.
What do you mean by different areas, Dan?
Well, so we definitely kind of like established a base of places, mostly in like the Cheektowaga, Williamsville, Buffalo kind of market areas. And the funny thing I think with cover bands is you can play in different zip codes, and it's like the equivalent of a national band going on tour. Like someone in Cheektowaga will not see you in Lancaster, and it's wild. But so we basically, we like when we started, it was like the Transit. We did Outside at the Cove once. We did. Ying's a bunch of times, Diamond Hawk a bunch of times, and stuff like that. Like those are all places we'll still go back to and play.
Yeah.
Now we're in like Tonawanda, Kenmore, Hamburg, Lewiston. Like we're kind of just all over the place now. I feel like.
And it definitely became like we don't want to oversaturate it. Like we still want to play as many gigs as we would like to do, which is like 50 to 60 a year. I think it works out to, but even that we scaled back a little bit because we were like, let's not just run ourselves into the ground. Let's actually methodically try and, target areas we want to get to that we haven't played before, because that's how you reach new people. So, getting to do some cool stuff out in Sanborn. We teamed up with Hair Nation for a big lawn fade out there. That was super fun. Did some like charity events in Grand Island. We did some, we did Gateway Harbor up in North Tonawanda, opening for Analog Kids.
That was also very fun.
That was great. And then even like getting more down south into the southern tier and stuff like that, we've been exploring going back to Dunkirk, back to Fredonia, back to Angola, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of funny because there's some people that I've had on, on this show and stuff like that, and I don't want to get into names or anything like that, but these friends of mine, they just played live at Daryl's house a couple weeks ago.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. That is so cool.
Oh, very, and they'll talk about nice people. They're just so cool, and they just played Syracuse on, I think it was on Sunday, and then there was another band that I was talking with in the beginning of last season, and they're like always going to Erie and Cleveland and playing, and
Mhm.
they're very well known around here. But I'm like, why are you going so far? And they just kind of said that, because they're going that far, they're getting paid more money for some reason, and
Yeah.
it's like, God bless you. That's fantastic,
I think it's nice, a nice change up too. Like being in a new atmosphere, seeing new people, meeting new people. It's like a nice change up every once in a while.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you also never really know who is going to be at your show, whether it's in your hometown or whether it's 2 hours away. It could really be anyone, and you can make a really good connection that way
Oh,
for
definitely.
potential future opportunity.
Yeah. And I think part of it too is like with this area, we spent those first couple of years grinding, playing every gig we could do and booking everything ourselves. Like we have never worked with an agent or a promoter to handle booking gigs for us. We might work with one here and there for an individual gig, but we have taking the DIY aspect of it like that and just applying it into new markets. It's nothing new to us. It's just, you're not going to have your reputation in places that they've never seen you before. So, you have to win over a whole new area.
Yeah.
Well, actually, that was going to be my next question about how do you book the gigs? Who books them for you? I mean,
These two.
Yeah.
I would say all three of us really do.
Yeah, and I think it depends who knows who and what place.
oh, sure.
Yeah, I mean, we all have different. They have the most connections, I would say. They're a big part of the music industry.
Yeah.
I just have my small little connections at the local bars and stuff where if we ever just wanted to play some music, we could always go there. We're always welcome there. So.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely it's a process, when you're looking at other markets to figure out who do I contact, where do I contact, what venues are cool, what venues suck, who do I play with, should I play with somebody else? You do have to put some forethought and planning into it.
Yeah.
How many nights a month does UnCovered play in an average month?
On average, like throughout the year, I'd probably say 4 or 5.
Really? That many a month?
Yeah.
On top of all, we all have full-time jobs too, so there's that aspect of it.
Well, I was going to mention that full-time jobs and all got side projects. Hannah, do you have side projects as well, or because I know these two are in like 400 or 500 different bands?
I mean, we kind of always talked about like making original stuff in the future, but I personally, I just feel like I don't have the time. So I personally don't. I would love to maybe in the future. But I bought a house 6 months ago with my boyfriend Kenny, so that's been a whole project in itself.
Congratulations!
And I have 2 dogs too, so I take care of the dogs.
Congratulations! That's a lot of work.
Thank you. Yeah, it's fun being a homeowner. They all warned me.
No, I know the last time that we had you guys on as UnCovered, and again, Hannah wasn't there that time, but I think you were playing at Ying's very shortly after that, and the guy that was running Master Control for me at that time, Chris, went and saw you guys there.
Yep.
And he called me the next morning. He's like, I only got one word to say about them. I said, what? I'm expecting something. He's like, wow.
Oh, no.
He says, they were friggin' fantastic, man. He says,
that's so
from
sweet.
talking to them on the show was one thing, but going and seeing them play, whole different ball game. So I thought I'd throw that in there because Chris was very complimentary of what you guys
Thank
did.
you. Thanks.
That was cool. He was a good hang. He was super fun to talk to outside. It was cool to get to meet him in person.
Yeah. And he would like to still be here, but again, he had somebody made him an offer he couldn't refuse, and I couldn't match. So
I get that.
That's why he's not with us anymore. Tell me about these illustrious missing 2 other gentlemen that we don't pleasure at the
Well, I gave my piece on Fig last time, so you can.
Well, I mean, Tony. Yeah, at least you met Tony. But I mean, if you have to ask, you'll never know kind of thing. That's the famous Fig wording of it. I think he low-key actually likes being the mystery man of keeping it guessing in that way. But no, I mean, he's a nurse. He pretty much does everything. He does keyboard for us. He does rhythm guitar, backup vocals. I mean, there's
Some lead.
some lead,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, if you ask him to do something, he will dedicate his time and energy into learning it for us. So, I mean, he's been a huge part of this band, honestly.
I wanted to ask about playing at Diamond Hawk. I personally, I love going to Diamond Hawk. I think it's a great place. And I think I might have seen you guys there before I met you, but you like playing outside there?
Outside, I think is fun. You know, the hard thing is, and this is no fault of the venue, but in the summer, there's just a lot of events going on every single
Yeah.
weekend, everywhere. And I feel like there's just a lot of competition. So when you have summer gigs like that, sometimes it's, you know, it could be good or bad. I've always had a good experience playing outside there. It really is a vibe. I really like what they did with the place, you know, aside from being a golf course, but
Yeah.
getting known as a music venue. I mean, they have music, God, what, 4 times a week,
Yeah.
just about.
I know more people that know that place for the music than they do the golf.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Probably because I don't golf.
I'm one of them. I mean, I didn't know that I went there to see somebody play one night, and I'm like, oh, they got a golf course here too. That's pretty cool. You know?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Little putt, you know.
It's a vibe. It's cool. It's cool though. Christina and I stopped in there last time we were there. It was a couple of weeks ago when Secondhand News was playing, and they sounded great.
Yeah.
And I think Stacy from Fleetwood Mac Experience filling in too, so we got to meet her and hang out. You know, Don's probably got to be one of my favorite venue owners.
Yep.
In the area, like him and his whole team, like Don, Fred, anyone else's names I'm forgetting. They're just the two I talk to the most. Like they take care of the bands. They're super receptive to like feedback. You know, I know Don and I had a couple conversations about, you know, what kind of stage, you know, what do you think would be cool? Like he picked my brain as much as I picked his, and it was a cool place.
Well, that's one of the things that's I'm enjoying seeing at some of these places. You know, like the Cove is another place where they have a stage for the bands. And I know friends of mine have played. I forget which place was in Ellicottville, but it's like there's a little bit of a riser where they keep 2 tables where people have lunch when there's no bands there, and when there are bands there, they move those 2 tables and they try to get these bands to squeeze everybody in there. And it's like, you know, one guy's bumping into somebody, and that's like I say, Ying's I believe is another one that's got a pretty decent stage where you can move a little bit. You can not bump into other people in the band. That's
Yeah.
And the other
It's
thing,
nice because it's wide. So that
yeah,
gives us
yeah.
So I think I just give a scary vibe because I do go out and kind of harass people a little bit, and then you just notice that everyone takes a nice step back and they're like, don't come near me.
Yeah, but it'll like ebb and flow. Like if Hannah's out in the crowd, they'll be out in front of her, and if she steps back towards the stage, they'll scooch forward.
Yeah.
So it's like a wave going back and forth, just depending on where Hannah
I do
is.
come off a little strong sometimes, but I can't help myself.
As long as it works, it doesn't matter.
Well, that's the point, is that you have fun. We're going to make you have fun.
That's what I'm there for.
Well, and going back to the Diamond Hawk, that was another thing. I grew up not too far from the Diamond Hawk, and I was surprised when I was there listening to, I was several times there, but listening to whoever play, you don't hear any airplanes. I mean, I grew up that if you were on the phone with somebody and they lived not too far from you, first of all, you'd stop talking because the plane was going over, and then it would hit their house, and then they'd have to stop talking.
Yeah.
You don't hear any planes over there. That's really cool. I like the outside venue over there. That's a nice setup that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dan, what else we got to know about UnCovered? Because
well, I mean, we got the gigs coming up this fall, winter season. We are booking a bunch of cool stuff for 2026. I'll mostly keep under wraps, but a lot of cool events coming up for that. You know, obviously we're exploring getting into new markets still, or at least, you know, areas that we haven't played a whole lot.
yeah.
What, my ear? Itched.
Oh, that's fun. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, the train keeps rolling and gaining speed. So
Cool. And you said you got Joe filling in a couple of gigs for you as well?
just for the turkey trot. Yeah, Fig unfortunately is that's with the way his job is, that's one of the holidays he is required to work.
Yeah.
So thankfully I'm just stealing my other guitarist from another band and Make them learn an hour and a half of our stuff.
Yeah.
How do you find time to reherse? Because y'all got full-time jobs. You're playing 4 or 5
Oh,
times.
that's a great question.
I will say that we play so often that we don't really rehearse, if that makes sense, because the show really is the rehearsal.
Yeah.
We really only practice if we're gonna add something new. We
try to do like
month.
once a week.
Yeah.
That was the goal.
Yeah.
It didn't always work out that way. But so instead, like we'll do maybe like once or twice a month and then add like 6 songs.
Yeah.
And then we'll practice all those songs, see what sticks, see what doesn't. And then we started doing this fun thing where we have like a master set list and we're like, what haven't we played in 2 years? Let's try it out. And we'll pick something off that list and completely butcher it. And now we'll be practicing that song too until we get that one right as well. So
Well, the fun thing with that too is except Hannah, none of us in the band ever know what the hell the set list is gonna be until the day of the show because Hannah makes the set list. So I can't not know any of the songs we've ever played because she might just pull something out from like 3 years ago.
and it's happened. So like we'll have like all the guys like practicing the chords and everything right before the show, and they're like, I think I got it. What chord is this again?
It's fun though. I mean, it keeps you on your toes. And
I was going to say, it's kind of keep thing interesting. Yeah. Is there, I know with the at your Sundown, it's all Southern rock. Is there a theme that goes on with UnCovered, or just whatever?
Ignorant Party.
Yeah. Ignorant Party.
Yeah.
It really depends on where we play. If we're playing downtown, we've done a few shows, which we have one coming up in January like this where it's specifically like an emo night, so we'll just do music of that genre. If we're playing at like Ying's or like a corner bar, we'll just do everything. We'll do country, classic rock, emo, alternative.
Yeah. I feel like we have switched around like our own set on the spot before too, kind of depending on how the crowd responds to what we're playing at that moment. So it really does depend like on the venue and how the crowd is, but very hard making a set the night before when you don't know what to expect, especially with all the new places. We really don't know what to expect of who's there, so we're just going to kind of play by ear sometimes.
Yeah. Well, and I guess that is because you asked like what events we have coming up, because that's announced. That is our first gig of 2026 is January 3rd. It's us with Tom from MySpace doing an entire
emo night.
I guess emo night, but you call it just like a 2000s night. So it's fun. We get to do events like that. We did one summer of 2024 with Off the Wall at Rec Room, and that was a blast. So we're kind of doing a similar thing with the dudes in Tom from MySpace, and they're all really good friends of ours too. Like Nate and I have known each other for a couple of years now, and Josh O'Connor's awesome.
That's cool.
So it's cool to kind of do a themed thing like that because we're usually not a themed band. We're usually just
we play whatever the crowd wants. We're just there to have fun.
Yeah.
Have fun, honestly.
If it ain't fun, it ain't worth doing.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Did you do any disco, Dan?
Privately.
Okay.
I love this stuff.
I only threw that in there. I only threw that in there because the last 2 times that At Your Sundown was on the show, I made known my feelings about how much I loved Southern rock, and the reason I loved it was because how much I hated what was going on at that time in popular music, and a lot of it was disco.
There's a lot of really, really, like, from a guitar player perspective, like, I'm not probably waking up and putting disco on, but there's a lot of really cool guitar playing that you can learn a lot of things from, and that's my biggest thing is like, even if I'm not a big fan of the genre, I want to sponge absorb as much of
I think the cool thing we do as well is like if it's something that we know we can't do with like the stuff we already have, we'll find a way to kind of remake it into something we already do. Like if we ended up doing disco, we'll kind of like change the sound of it where it could be a little bit more rocky, which I think is really cool. We'll find like inspiration online and stuff to kind of see what other people do, and it's really cool to be able to kind of make it and mend it to something that works for you as a band.
Well, that was my running joke up until Fig really got prominent with using his keyboards. The first probably like 3 years, I jokingly called myself like the stunt guitar player because Fig would play the guitar part and I would go play the keyboard part on guitar.
Mhm.
And we used to have a lot more pop in the set. So, you know, I'm playing the synth parts to a Dua Lipa song on my Les Paul.
Right.
And I'm just trying to figure out what combination of chorus or flange or delay or what can I do to, you know, have a similar sounding kind of thing go on, but like as a guitar part.
There's
Yeah,
nothing
no, I
we
get
won't do.
Yes, that's true.
Dan, have you ever
Oh,
thought of
we'll
cloning
try,
yourself?
What's that?
Have you ever thought of cloning yourself?
Yeah, that's Joe.
Okay. Okay. Point taken.
It's Joe.
Good old Joe, man. He's a riot. All right, guys. Well, I'll tell you what. This has really been a lot of fun. Anything that we missed? Anything that you want anybody to know about that you want to put out there?
We're booking for next year. So if you're a venue that's looking for a party band, or if you're looking for something specific, like you want to do an emo night or whatever, have a couple bands in there, we do all that. So go to our Facebook. You can contact us on there or shoot us an email. And we're well into next year for booking. So
Also, shout out to all the people who do follow us. They are truly, truly amazing, so loving. And we obviously wouldn't be here without you guys. So big shout out to you guys. And friends and family. Hi, Kenny. Love you.
Well, and that's something that I didn't mention earlier in the show is that all of these interviews that we do, you know, you can go back to the Three Chords and the Truth YouTube page. You can find all of these interviews. This one will be up there probably within about a half an hour. So if there's anybody that's missed it that wants to see it, or if you guys want to share it, feel free to do that. And it's always good having you on. And once again, this is it's been a lot of fun. This is Uncovered with Dan, Hannah, and Christina. Been cool.
If we do it again, we'll do it at the Music Mall. We'll show you the trash corner.
Okay, we'll do that. Sounds good. Thanks again, you guys. Next week, we've got David Hinsky, singer-songwriter and DJ. He'll be on. The week after that, we'll be off for Thanksgiving, and then we'll just pick things back up again in December. So, again, thanks for watching Three Chords and the Truth. Thanks again to Uncovered, and support local music.
Woo, thanks, Pete.
Peace out.
Take it.